Modernity is marked by technological, scientific and social advances that have profoundly transformed human life. However, Max Weber warns us of a disturbing paradox. Progress, although it brings comfort and development, exacts a high and invisible price: individual freedom. This freedom, understood as the ability to act according to one's own will and express the authenticity of one's being, is sacrificed in the name of the organization, rationalization, and efficiency that characterize modern society. Progress, structured by bureaucratic and rationalized systems, creates an environment where autonomy is replaced by rigid rules, spontaneity is stifled by routine, and creativity is limited by the need for control.
Max Weber used the metaphor of the iron cage to describe the condition of the individual in modern society. This cage is not made of steel, but of rules, norms, and bureaucratic structures that shape and restrict human action. As rationalization advances, life becomes increasingly dominated by impersonal procedures, rigid routines, and inflexible hierarchies. While these structures ensure efficiency and order, they also drastically limit individual freedom.
Within this cage, the human being is reduced to a function or role where personal value is subordinated to fulfilling institutional expectations. Autonomy is lost in the face of the need for conformity, and spontaneity gives way to predictability. This invisible imprisonment creates a feeling of alienation and dehumanization, where the individual feels that they live a programmed life distant from their deepest desires and needs. Rationalization is the engine that powers the construction of the iron cage. This process involves the meticulous organization of life through logic, efficiency, and control, transforming all activities into planned and calculated tasks. In work, education, public administration, and even in social relations, rationalization imposes rigid standards, eliminates improvisation, and seeks maximum productivity. Although this brings order and predictability, it also produces an oppressive environment that suppresses individual freedom. Personal decisions are influenced by external norms, and the individual becomes a task performer with no room for authentic choices. Time is measured and controlled, and life is structured around schedules and obligations that have little respect for human subjectivity. This rationalized logic, by prioritizing efficiency, contributes to the feeling of imprisonment, as it reduces the complexity of existence to a closed system of rules and routines. Max Weber identified bureaucracy as the most efficient, but also the most dehumanizing form of social organization. Bureaucracy is characterized by fixed rules, rigid hierarchies, and a highly specialized division of labor aimed at maximizing efficiency and control. Although bureaucracy is undeniably effective in coordinating large organizations, it transforms individuals into mere task executors, reducing their identity to a set of functions. Autonomy and creativity are stifled by the need to follow standardized procedures. This impersonality produces a cold and distant environment, where human relationships are mediated by rules and formalities, and solidarity gives way to conformity and control. Bureaucracy represents the core of the Weberian iron cage, where efficiency is achieved at the expense of freedom and humanity. Within the iron cage, the efficiency that dominates modern life produces a phenomenon that Max Weber called alienation. This alienation is a distancing between the individual and his work, his relationships, and even his own identity. Human beings begin to feel disconnected from the product of their efforts, the purpose of their actions, and the people around them. Life becomes a sequence of mechanical tasks, where meaning and personal satisfaction are scarce. This loss of meaning creates an existential void that can lead to anguish, stress, and despair. The pressure for results and the fast pace of modern life make it difficult to reflect and recover deeper human values. Weber warns that this condition is one of the greatest crises of modernity, where the search for efficiency sacrifices the essence of the human being. Max Weber also pointed to the phenomenon of the disenchantment of the world, which is the loss of mystery, magic, and transcendental meaning in modern life. With the advancement of science and rationalization, everything begins to be explained by natural laws and technical processes, emptying existence of its symbolic and spiritual character. This transformation makes the modern world perceived as cold, impersonal, and mechanistic. The relentless pursuit of efficiency and control eliminates the space for enchantment and subjective experience. Disenchantment contributes to feelings of emptiness and alienation, as people lose the references that supported their connection with the world and with themselves. Despite the strength of the iron cage, Max Weber does not see the situation as irremediable. Critical awareness of rationalization and bureaucracy is the first step toward resistance and the search for ways to humanize life within the system. Resistance can happen through the creation and appreciation of spaces for creativity, philosophical reflection, spirituality, and genuine human relationships. These moments offer a counterpoint to the mechanization of existence and allow the recovery of meaning and authenticity. Furthermore, social criticism and the construction of organizational and lifestyle alternatives that prioritize well-being and balance are fundamental to challenging dehumanizing logic. Solidarity and community building based on respect and empathy strengthen this resilience, fostering an environment where human dignity can flourish. As technology advances, Max Weber's iron cage seems to become even stronger. Automation, artificial intelligence, and digitalization promise unprecedented efficiency, but they also increase the risks of dehumanization and loss of autonomy. In the future, the relationship between humans and machines may become even more complex, with decisions increasingly delegated to automated systems that prioritize data and numerical results. This may reinforce the feeling of alienation and the reduction of the individual to a functional component of the great social machine. However, technology also offers opportunities to redeem humanity, as long as it is used with critical awareness and ethics. Digital tools can enhance creativity, collaboration, and freedom if used to expand rather than restrict the human experience. In this block, we will discuss the challenges and possibilities that technology imposes on freedom and humanity in the 21st century.
We have reached the end of this analysis of Max Weber's thought on the price of progress, freedom sacrificed in the pursuit of efficiency. The iron cage is a powerful metaphor that alerts us to the dangers of extreme rationalization and dehumanizing bureaucracy. The contemporary challenge is to find a balance between technological and social advancement and the preservation of human dignity, creativity, and autonomy.
This requires critical awareness, ethical choices, and the construction of spaces that value being beyond function. Each individual can contribute to this transformation by seeking authenticity, cultivating true relationships, and participating in supportive communities. May the reflection on the iron cage inspire us not to passively accept the invisible prison, but to fight for a more humane, just, and free